As Conor McGregor continues to tease his return to combat sports, the Irishman has hinted at a return to an old rivalry. With the emergence of Dana White's slap fighting league, McGregor has suggested that he could be set to take on an old foe to settle their long-running feud. Today we're discussing the possibility of McGregor and Nate Diaz finally settling their beef and a possible bare-knuckle fight for Nate. First up, Michael Chandler has reacted to a potential fight with McGregor. Stay with us. Dana White was recently asked who he would like to see Conor McGregor fight if he was to return to the UFC octagon right now. Of course, it was just a hypothetical question, but Dana indulged fans of the sport by suggesting the fight that would make the most sense would probably be Michael Chandler. Iron Mike is one of the most exciting fighters on the lightweight roster, although he doesn't have the greatest record since joining from Bellator and has gone 2-3. The reason he hasn't been as successful as he might have liked is that he is a kill or be killed sort of fighter and puts it all on the line. This style means he can often get caught, but it also means he makes fights a ton of fun to watch. Speaking on the possibility of fighting McGregor after White's recent comments, Chandler believes that it is more likely now that Dana has mentioned it before, adding, "I've always been respectful of Conor. I've always said the sport of mixed martial arts is better when Conor is in it, so let me be the other guy on the other side of the octagon." Chandler refused to be disrespectful about McGregor, but did address recent rumors about McGregor's possible steroid use, suggesting that it doesn't bother him as he has fought outside the UFC for most of his career, alluding to the fact that the other promotions might not be the cleanest. Can you guys see this one going down? Next up, Conor has gotten into it with a Dublin DJ. Stay tuned. The Irish fighter has been up to his old tricks again of late, arguing with people online for all the world to see. Irish DJ PJ Gallagher, who works on Dublin radio station Radio Nova, had jokingly defended people who wrongly referred to McGregor as British last week, which the Notorious did not take kindly to whatsoever. McGregor called the DJ a sad pox of a thing, before then mocking him for his mental health struggles, which really shouldn't be joked about. The UFC star took to Twitter to say, "Sit upright and smile for a change, will you sad C? Ha 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 ha. Wife left you and all, and you're crying in the paper about depression? Posture like a prawn. Sad. I am Ireland. Don't forget it. There's blood on my flag." In yet another incident which makes McGregor come off as nothing more than a clown, Gallagher has since responded, taking the insult and turning it into a joke. He fired back, "Excuse me, it took years of hard work and awkward walking to get the posture of a prawn. I am delicious." Of course, Gallagher's struggles have been well documented, and he did have a serious message urging people to never give up, no matter how bad you are. Yet another incident in which McGregor simply comes off looking bitter and angry. A 10-7 round for Gallagher. What did you make of his latest run-in? News of a legal win for Conor now. As Conor McGregor battles back to full fitness following his broken leg against Dustin Poirier, he has also been battling a former friend in the Irish High Court. The Notorious has had a recent win over former friend and training partner Artem Lobov, who claims he was the brains behind setting up the Proper 12 whiskey business. Lobov, who is Russian but has lived in Ireland for a long time, was demanding 5% of a $600 million sale and claimed to have 3 witnesses who heard McGregor tell him, "Remember, 5% is yours no matter what." Given the character of McGregor, it would be no surprise if he reneged on a deal such as this. But he got his first win late last week as his lawyers were successful in blocking the case from being fast-tracked in Ireland's commercial court. And of course, McGregor was quick to take to social media to taunt Lobov, saying, "Artem, you little Johnny head, unlucky the other day in courts. Proper 12 day. But what did you expect? I want them court fees the judge awarded me also. Need them, pal. Effing idiot." He then suggested Lobov swore on the lives of his children, sharing a message from his former friend which read, "Let me start by saying that I swear on my child's life I will not take a cent out of the whiskey deal." It seems as though this one could rumble on for some time. What do you guys think? Next up, Nate has been honored in his native Stockton. It's safe to say that Nick and Nate Diaz have put the California city of Stockton on the map, and to honor the younger Diaz brother, the city recently gave him the key to the city. The symbolic gesture came at a Stockton Kings game, with Nate in attendance as Mayor Kevin Lincoln handed him his award. And speaking to Diaz, the mayor said, "We want to thank you for the grit and determination that you display every time you step into a fight." He then added, "And I want you to know that the grit and determination is built into the very fabric of the city you represent." And of course, Diaz was quick to return the thanks, telling those in attendance, "It has been an honor to represent the city," whilst also saying, "I've been rocking with Stockton this whole time. I'm going to be forever rocking Stockton. I ain't going nowhere." What a guy. So what about McGregor facing Diaz again? The two men are currently 1-1 in UFC fights against each other. But with Diaz having recently left the promotion and McGregor unlikely to return to MMA anytime soon, the Notorious has come up with an alternative way to settle the score with his old rival. Dana White has recently announced his Power Slap League, which is garnering interest from multiple different personalities, none more so than the Irishman. Of course, Diaz won the first fight between the pair by forcing McGregor to tap, whilst Conor took the rematch on points. But it seems as though the former double champ is eager to face Diaz in the world's premier competitive slapping promotion. Speaking recently, McGregor had a few questions about the format, saying, "This Power Slap Championships is growing on me. Who doesn't like watching good quality clatters? Ha ha ha. Is it a flip of a coin? Who gets to go first? How long do they have to recover before they get to throw their counter? Or is it over if they're knocked out?" He then suggested taking on Diaz, who is known for his Stockton slap, saying, "Me versus Nate on it for the title. Ha ha ha. Maybe that's a title you'd have a better chance of coming close to winning, Nate, you little slapper. Ha ha ha." McGregor then revealed he has plans to attend one of the Power Slap League events, also going on to ask, "WTF is this madness, Dana?" Diaz has since responded to McGregor's suggestions. Of course, Nate Diaz is never one to sit idly by and watch as someone calls him out, and since McGregor's proposed slap fight, Nate has appeared to pour cold water on the idea. Most people around the combat sports world have little interest in slap fighting. I mean, it just goes to show how much McGregor's star has faded that he is even considering the possibility. As the war of words, which has simmered for more than 6 years between McGregor and Diaz, was reignited by the Irishman this past weekend, Diaz was quick to respond, warning the sport's highest earner in history that he has already beaten him at that game too, referring to the huge slap he landed on McGregor in the pair's first meeting. The slap could be audibly heard at Octagon's side and would have certainly dented the ego of McGregor, and Diaz wasn't done with the smack talk either. He went on, "If submissions weren't allowed, I knocked you out way faster than Floyd did." That particular tweet makes little to no sense, but we're used to Diaz tweets not making much sense. He went on to claim that he choked Conor out better and faster than Khabib did, but the Irishman wasn't about to let him off the hook by firing back. "Got you back with concussions. Real smacks." What do you guys make of the Diaz and McGregor beef ramping up again? A potential alternative endeavor for Nate next. Nate ended his long association with the UFC earlier this year, but it was known for quite some time that the fight against Tony Ferguson would be his last. The Stockton favorite managed to get the win too, submitting Ferguson via guillotine choke. As soon as it became clear Nate was leaving the UFC, there was no shortage of interest in securing his services, and it is thought that he had plenty of offers from other MMA promotions, potential boxing opponents, and also an intriguing offer from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. BKFC president David Feldman recently claimed that talks with Nate are going great, adding that they expect to hear back from him in the next week or two. And Feldman, who was speaking to the Schmo recently, seems to believe that BKFC is in a prominent position to sign Diaz, saying, "If we want to be the biggest, baddest, and best promotion out there, then we have to go after the biggest, baddest, and best fighters out there, and that's what we're doing." He then suggested that they have the finances to bring in someone like Diaz, before going on to suggest that in just 2 years' time, he sees BKFC as the #2 combat sports promotion in the world. BKFC has an entire host of top names, including Paige Van Zandt, Mike Perry, Ben Rothwell. Adding Nate Diaz would certainly take them up to the next level. As always, thanks for stopping by, and remember to tune in again next time, when we will be discussing loads more cool bits and pieces. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys!